You ever had this feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming? Well, get ready to question everything because you have just been uploaded into the Matrix.
Let me offer you 2 pills. You take the blue one, and you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and I'll show you the real Easter eggs of the Matrix trilogy. Great. So now get ready to see how deep the rabbit hole really is. You've probably forgotten a lot about the trilogy as the first movie came out 20 years ago. Yes, I can't believe it myself. It's been 20 years since Neo followed the White Rabbit and the Wachowski sisters, well actually Wachowski brothers back then, introduced the Matrix concept to the world. That is why I will give you a short recap of what happened in each of the 3 parts and reveal the real meaning of each one, which we clearly did not see at the time of the Matrix premiere. Part 1, the original Matrix from 1999. I'm gonna be honest with you. When this part came out, I was just a primary school kid who loved the super cool visual effects and did not really give a damn about the whole cyberpunk theme. I have a pretty strong feeling that you are with me on that. So let's refresh our minds on the films. The events of the movie are somewhere around the year 2199. All the parts of the movie that appeared to be the regular 1999 are not real. It is only a computer simulated program that has been created to enslave the human race. This computer simulation is called the Matrix. The Matrix is created by artificial intelligence that was earlier created by the humans in the early 21st century. As it often happens in movies nowadays, humans and AI had a fallout, blah, blah, blah. Humans obviously saw AI as a threat to their existence. And so, with the tricky scheme, the AI plugs humans into the Matrix and used them as a source of energy for the machines. The humans plugged into the Matrix do not realize it is a simulated dream and sleep through their entire lives, and then there are a group of people in the real world who are free from the Matrix. That is when we meet our fun group of Morpheus and his friends, who are trying to resist the machines. The coolest person in the team, the Oracle, has told Morpheus that he will find a person in the Matrix who will not be bound by its rules. And so the chosen Keanu Reeves begins his journey in the real world by taking the famous red pill. Okay, we also must say a word about Agent Smith. You surely remember that creepy guy. The agents are some kind of gatekeepers of the Matrix. Their job is to kill intruders like Morpheus and his team. Eventually, the 2 leaders from each side meet, and that is how the most remarkable battle in the first part happened. Ta-da! We have a happy ending. Neo is now officially dodging bullets, flying away like Superman, and promises to unplug the human race. And it's time to reveal the first hidden Easter egg, which lies in the Animatrix. Animatrix is an anthology of short animated films which reveal the backstory of the Matrix universe. It tells us that initially men created a series of humanoid bots that are meant to do household work for humans. Actually, the bots were content doing this, and humans got lazier and more corrupt. One day, a bot killed its owner.
This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
But the real tricky thing is, it did not really do it intentionally. Yes, the Wachowskis put it in a way where the AI bot was actually just trying to defend itself from a very brutal, cruel, and dangerous human's behavior. Whatever the truth is, humans let this moment slide. And so that poor bot was sentenced to get destroyed. This so-called murder was seen by the humans as a rise of the machines. So, the humans started a war, while the machines tried to deal with this conflict peacefully till the very end. Eventually, the machines win and humans are brought to their knees. What's interesting though, is that there were a number of people that were fighting on the side of the bots. And those humans volunteered to be plugged in to a simulated dream state to escape the horrors of their reality. And it was actually a win-win situation, as machines could draw power from the sleeping humans, while the humans slept in a state of bliss. No, they did not suffer as we see in the Matrix movie. Later, all the surviving humans are plugged into a new and improved version of the virtual reality that gets called the Matrix. The 1999 movie and its events happened about 100 years after this Animatrix war. Continue watching the video and find out what went wrong and how people ended their blissful sleep. Though Neo feels unstoppable at the end of the first segment, things are not as they seem. The next part, Matrix Reloaded, is just about this. The events in the Matrix Reloaded are just 6 months after the first film. What have they been up to in these last 6 months, you might ask? You know, casual things like freeing the minds from the Matrix and taking them to Zion. In case you forgot, Zion is the hidden place where all the free humans are now living. The truth is that the machines have already discovered the location of Zion and are now going to destroy it. Neo's a cool guy now, as he can deduce the events of the near future, but he only gets hazy pieces of information, so he is searching for the Oracle to get some answers about what he needs to do to save the humans. As we find out, Oracle is also a program, but a specific one that is actually sympathetic to humans and tries to help them. Sometimes. After they speak, our lovely Keanu now has a new goal. He needs to find the source, the place where, according to the Oracle, he will have to make a choice between saving the life of his beloved and saving that of Zion. And so, after almost the whole movie, Neo finally meets the architect who gives Neo that long-anticipated choice. This part of the movie makes viewers' brains get into a knot. But we will make it clear for you. Through the conversation, it is now revealed that this is already the 6th version of the Matrix, and Zion has been destroyed 5 times before. And so Neo is also the 6th chosen one. Now it's time to find out what happened after the story in the Animatrix ends. The architect reveals that the humans' minds rejected the first 2 versions of the Matrix, where people had a blissful state of mind, because it was too perfect. The issue was that the human minds expect problems. For example, if we are put in a situation where everything is going seemingly well, we end up having doubt at the back of our minds about whether there is some issue that we are unaware of. The solution was to introduce the element of choice to the minds of the people inside the Matrix, a subliminal feeling that everyone had free will, even though they did not. Again, 99% accepted this, 1% did not, and the ones who did not began breaking the rules of the Matrix. The architect announces that Zion is about to be destroyed. The function of the One is now to return the source to rebuild Zion, with only 23 chosen people from the Matrix. If Neo disagrees, the entire human race will be killed. And so, the architect offers him a choice. The door to Neo's right leads to the source of salvation of Zion. The door to his left leads back to the Matrix, to beloved Trinity, and the end of the human race. As we know, Neo is blinded by his love for Trinity, and so shockingly to the architect, and not surprising to us viewers at all, he doesn't accept the offer to restart Zion. Neo wants to save Trinity, so he exits back into the Matrix. Neo saves his beloved and comes back to Zion with news that they have 24 hours to do something, or else Zion is destroyed. Morpheus' face is worth a look here. He's almost gonna whimper like a little child. They prepare to go to war. All hope for salvation from the Matrix is now gone, and it was just another system of control. At the end of the second part, Neo entered the Matrix without plugging in and met 2 very special programs with their daughter machine, Sati, who has no purpose. But we will reveal the secret to that meeting at the end of the video. And now it's time for the second Easter egg. According to director Lana Wachowski, the sequels are an exercise in participation, putting audiences on the same path of discovery as Neo, whether they like it or not. The first movie is sort of classical in its approach, and the second movie is deconstructionist and an assault on all things you thought to be true in the first movie. The third movie is the most ambiguous because it asks you to participate in the construction of meaning. So let's dive into that by analyzing part 3, Revolution, which will lead us to the final and biggest Easter egg. Okay, so here we are, preparing for the war, but what the machines haven't taken into account is Smith. He's now a super cool virus, something that has been spreading and contaminating the Matrix from the inside. He's out of control, and there is nothing the machines can do to stop him. We have to put aside the whole lovely part about Neo creating the plan, losing his sight, the moment where Trinity is dying. You will have to rewatch that in the Matrix for yourself. I'm sorry, but we need to go straight to the part where Neo meets the machine mind, so that you can finally tell what this whole story was all about. As it turns out, Neo is a hell of a negotiator. He tells the machine mind that he can stop the uncontrollable virus that is Smith, but in return, he wants peace. He wants Zion to be left alone. The machine mind agrees. Neo understands that the only way to stop Smith is to allow him to assimilate Neo's body, and then it will be possible for Neo to destroy the virus and eventually win the fight. So that is what he did. At Zion, as promised by the machine mind, the Sentinels are called back and Zion is allowed to survive. The ending of the Matrix trilogy doesn't see the Matrix get destroyed. In fact, it is renewed, rebooted for a 7th version, this time with new rules. With peace secured and a new compassionate approach at hand, any human who desires to depart the Matrix will be allowed to leave. Certainly, some will stay. The Matrix is the ultimate virtual reality game after all. But the conditions of enslavement are no more, at least for now. And here comes our last and most important Easter egg, and its name is love. But it's not that sentimental though. The end of the trilogy clearly shows how the machines are now working on understanding this little thing called love, so that later on, they can learn how to control it. How can we be so sure about that? Let us remind you of one more character. One of the most curious characters in the Matrix is the young girl Sati, who is treated with great importance, and now you will know why. Sati is a program without purpose, born as a result of love between two programs. In the machine world, such an entity is useless, a subject to deletion, which is why Sati's parents are trying to shepherd her to shelter. Thematically, Sati is the representation of love, a new concept to the machines. Love, at the end of the series, is ultimately what secures the humans' victory. Neo's love for Trinity is what drives him to make the choice to reject reloading the Matrix and instead fight for a better peace. The machines' inability to comprehend love left him with that blind spot, allowing Neo to go against every logical choice to make his own choices instead. At the end of the movie, Sati is essentially what the machines have decided to let control the Matrix. This, at least, is pretty much confirmed by the beautiful sunrise Sati says she made for Neo, and is supported by the new, compassionate approach to the Matrix's human population in the new 7th version. Maybe at some point, forces within the Matrix will figure out how to use the love concept against humanity and enslave them again. Until then, it's a beautiful morning in the Matrix and beyond. What are your predictions for the further development of this universe and the relationships between the machines and the humans?